Finish it. Good PK.
Welcome inside the locket.
Tega, this is Jabor.
Yes, unstrable.
Let's go. Mike's up is like Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. I'm Ayo Myra Essay with.
I'm Valentino here. Good morning.
It's time for the Locker Room 981, and this is where we talk sports. I hope you're ready for it. And we have the one, the only Tega Onojaife.
I don't hear any drum rolls.
Oh, sorry.
Good morning, everybody. Meanwhile, I've come. You know how it is. So this morning, let's first give you the hot gossip around town. While I be like Okrika Suto. That's how the NFF president, Amaju Pinnick, was on his own. He now went to say that clubs in Belarus and Cyprus, they are mushroom clubs. Basically, that's the bottom.
What?
That's the summary of what he said.
I'm
That
sorry,
they are
what?
that they are mushroom clubs.
And the one he has
That's
is
why.
what?
That's why people now came aside saying, "How can you say that? The Nigerian Professional Football League, how are they? At least in Belarus and Cyprus, they have TV rights, they have sponsors. Why you? What moral ground do you have to talk?" Mommy, I'm just like, please. The fact that I don't know how to sing does not mean that I don't know bad song when I hear it. So sometimes the man didn't lie. He just was just trying to say that the club is not. You know. I don't know why they came with sticks and stones for him, but I guess those who live in glass houses
Shouldn't what?
throw
Throw
stones.
stones. End of discussion.
End of
I
discussion.
need to chew that gum with this chair.
By the way, the Locker Room 981 is brought to you by Bed King. This first half is brought to you by Bed King, and we have some stories lined up for you.
Yep.
So we will be giving you our phone lines, because we will open the phone lines shortly, and we have something to give away as well for the first caller. But before then, here is a WhatsApp number to send in your messages to 0809 444 0981.
Or you can call by the time the calls are ready, or we're ready to take your calls. Please call 014489981.
And guess what? You get to see all the action on and behind the scenes and what you can hear on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos.
Yep. Now, the Phoenix Suns are 3 wins away from a championship after a strong Game 1 victory over the Milwaukee Bucks. The two sides were close for most of the first half before Phoenix pushed the lead as high as 20 in the third quarter. The furious Bucks comeback cut it back down to 7 in the fourth quarter, but the Suns just would not be denied. They took Milwaukee's punch and countered with several of their own, ultimately winning Game 1 118-105.
Yes, really tricky start for Milwaukee Bucks. The firepower of Phoenix Suns came to the fore. First quarter, Chris Paul had no points. He ended that match with 31 points. So, just so you know how he was about to bring it. But I think Milwaukee Bucks lost it. It's like a meal. There are many ingredients that were that made Milwaukee Bucks to lose. First of all, it was the free throws. Phoenix Suns went to the free throw lines about 25 times. I think they missed only one shot all night. One shot from the free throw line, and that was DeAndre Ayton. On the other hand, Milwaukee Bucks barely even went to the free throw line, and when they went, they were shooting. Well, Giannis was shooting at 52% because every time he carried the ball, again, the crowd was counting down for him. So really tough night for him then. And then it was on the defensive matchups. On the Phoenix end, they played guys that they knew could match up. So with Giannis, the first time they gave him a matchup against the Adrian Aton, he beat the Adrian Aton several times. So they said before we make Aton to take penalties, get fouled out when it is not time, they put Crowder on him. Now, it's not like Crowder is not good in shooting. It's just that on the balance of it all, they can sacrifice Crowder. So if he gets fouled out, they won't be really hurt because they have other shooters around. And so they put Crowder on Giannis, and Crowder was ready to take any risk, and he just stopped Giannis' game to a point. On the other hand, Brook Lopez couldn't defend anybody. Guy is 7 feet, and Chris Paul and Devin Booker were very happy to go up against him because, like I've said before, he's not the brightest bulb in the house. So, I mean, just run around him and he be there looking for the person he's guarding. He's gone around you, Giants. And so that was the problem. So defensively, they had no answer for Chris Paul and Devin Booker because they kept putting length against them, and the guys were just running around the length. So several recipes, and then of course missing open blank shots by Milwaukee Bucks, and Suns just finishing their buckets every time they had the opportunity. So several things came up against Milwaukee Bucks. They didn't look so. The game wouldn't have been so bad if they've made taking advantage of their second chance shot. So really tough night for Phoenix Suns. I don't know how they're going to change the story to come back, but I think it's going to be a tough series. The way after watching game one, it's going to be a really tough series for the Bucks.
All right, thank you very much, Barty. Let's go to some tennis. KeepsCawley dream alive as Jabor's Wimbledon ends. Ashley Barty, Tega's favorite on Tuesday, moved a step closer to achieving her goal of winning the Wimbledon women's crown. Barty outplayed fellow Australian Adria Tomljanovic, appearing in her first Grand Slam quarterfinal at the age of 28, winning 6-1, 6-3 to progress to the semi-finals.
Yes, so Aya is Ayla. So she's originally from Croatia, but she grew up in Australia. So yeah, but she grew up in Australia. So you still pronounce her name in the European way. So it's Ayla Tomljanovic.
Well, that was my namesake.
Yeah. So
Ayla Tomljanovic.
yes. So yes, that was always going to be an easy one. The minute you saw their pairing, you're like, yeah, Ashley is going to beat this girl. It wasn't even a competition. It was a breeze. But it was made a little longer, especially in the second set, but by Ashley Barty not getting her first sets in. So she was 25% on her first set, and then maybe 35 on her first set service in the second set. So she's not really and she won the match easily, and she was poor with her first serves.
So if she now brought it on.
So if her first serves were now the normal figure of 72, 80 something %, that means Ayla won't have gotten on the board at all. Because Ayla had to break to get on the board in the second set. So really tough one for her. But for Ashley Barty, if she doesn't clean up her first serves, she faces if she doesn't clean up her first serves, she faces Angelique Kerber next in the semis. If she doesn't clean up her first serves, I don't think she's going to survive Angelique Kerber. Angelique Kerber is a former champion, number one. Number two, Angelique Kerber's game this Wimbledon has been clean. It's like people are not even reading her serves at all, and her returns are spectacular. She looks like the Angelique Kerber that won a Grand Slam several years ago. Wow. So she has rolled back the years. So if Ashley Barty doesn't get better on her first serves going into that game, then I don't think there's any hope for her. So that's a tough one for her. On the other hand, Pliskova has made it through. She's in the semi-finals. Yay! Good one for her, because she's just, I mean, for a highly ranked player, it is the way she struggles in the Grand Slams that really make me think about this ranking system. But she's through to the next round. In the men's draw, though, let's just rush that. Roger Federer faces Hurkacz today. Hurkacz knocked out Daniel Medvedev. Now, here's a trick. Let me tell you how big a deal that is. Daniel Medvedev is ranked number 2. And if he had won Wimbledon, he would have been able to topple Novak Djokovic from world number 1.
Wow.
So it was such a big deal that Hurkacz was able to beat him. So good one. Let's see how today's men's quarterfinal square up, but it's looking mouth-watering so far.
Hubert Hurkacz became just the first Polish man to reach the Wimbledon finals, but then having taken over Italy at their lowest ebb, Roberto Mancini reveled in defying expectations after the Azzurri made it through to the final of Euro 2020 with a dramatic penalty shootout win over Spain on Tuesday. When you play in a World Cup or European Championship, it's intense, and there always comes a game where you have to dig in and suffer to win, says Mancini. It can't all be smooth as our progress had been up to now. Nobody actually believed we could do it, and yet you're in the final. So we're pleased for the Italians everywhere.
Okay, so this is the one that we are going to open the phone lines for you people,
Yes,
because this kind of thing defies logic. So we all know the struggles Morata has had this tournament. We've seen him miss penalties in regulation time. We know the struggles he's had. So it still baffles me why Luis Enrique will open his two eye if it's not village people that are doing him and say, Morata, take penalty in this penalty shootout against Italy. Hope for what? Even if the guy say I can do it, you'll be like, yes, I believe you can do it. However, not today. Let someone else do it first, then you do it later. Look, there's no kind of confidence he wants to sell you. You can see the guys play. I'm not saying that it was Morata that cost them. He was not the only one that lost. Even Daniel Olmo, who had a fantastic game for Spain in the 90 minutes and the extra time for them, was good, but he also missed his penalty in the penalty shootout. I'm not saying he was at fault. I'm just saying that there's sometimes when you see the lineups that some people pick, you are going to win. Like when I saw Jorginho in that Italy lineup, for me, I was upset with Mancini. I thought Jorginho should have taken the first penalty because I was so sure Jorginho would score. And I thought if he scored first, he would give the rest of the Italian players the opportunity to score their penalty. But he took the last one and it was bloody. It's like he had been training in Chelsea just so that he can win for Italy. It's just wickedness.
That's a quotable. I love it. He has been training in Chelsea just so that he can win for Italy.
It was the way he took it. It was the confidence and the nonchalance with which he stood up. He walked down. I thought he was going to give a Panenka, but what he did yesterday, righteous people should not be doing it to other people. that was cold, but it was a really tough one, and it was the way I expected it to be. It was tight. Both teams bringing out the best. Italy showing their best defense. Spain showing their best offense. At the end of the day, it ended in a stalemate, 1-1. Both brilliant goals, but unfortunately for Spain, they lost in a shootout to the Italians. That one is normal. Sometimes Italy will beat you in penalties. But for me, the discussion today has to be Luis Enrique's choices so far at this tournament. So you call us and you tell us what you think about Luis Enrique's team selection, how it worked for him or how it did not work for him, and what you think about the selection for the 5 penalties last night.
All right, number to call is 0144899981. You'd be able to use that number after this break, so please hold on to that. Now, don't forget that we have tickets to go see a theatre production on Saturday or Sunday if you're the first person to call us this morning. Stay tuned.
No, if you're the first call, we pick.
Sorry?
If you're the first call, we pick. Because if you call during break. So that's the issue. So 0-1. So I need to. It was a horrible night, Sha. I think Luis Enrique did bad, poorly.
I wanted Spain to win because I think Italy is a tougher team to beat for England.
Who cares about England? I want peace and quiet.
No, I want.
Look, look. If it were possible, I would have said Denmark should win, but I know that Denmark cannot beat England. So,
you think so?
They can't beat England.
For Ericsson's sake, a lot of people are rooting for them.
Which there are lots of people.
Oh, take a gosh!
I know that 10 people seem like a lot, but if you put them in the real number.
No. Okay, I have a call now.
You see what I said? If you're the first number we pick. Please, people should talk to me about Morata, eh? That's what we want to talk about.
Back on. Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. You heard the announcement as to the program change. Please take note of it because some people were still asking earlier today. It's the
That's
locker
right.
room 981 here on Smooth Breakfast
And it
with
starts at 9.
Valentine Ohu.
And with Ayomire Essay.
We
And
have
check out.
Antega Onojaife. We have a first call called one of them. Good morning. What's your
Essay,
name?
you got-
Oh,
Make a
please
winner.
call us
I
back.
told you.
Oh, good
Hello?
morning.
Look at that.
All right.
014489981 is the number to call. The first call, successful call that comes through will win the ticket.
Meanwhile, what we are discussing basically is Luis Enrique's selection. So there's another call calling in. I told you.
Good
Hello.
morning. What's your name and where are you calling from, please? Hello,
First-
Davies. Amikwe.
Congratulations. David.
Congratulations.
Ooh, yeah.
People are so happy.
They forgot
I
themselves.
felt they should allow him to play the penalty. And I watched him. He panicked. And
Yes.
that's the funny thing.
Yes.
So, Davis, do us a favor. Please send us your full name on WhatsApp. Do you have our WhatsApp number? Please send it now.
So
Thank you so much, Davis.
Congratulations. You have a PEL ticket, so you can go with someone.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
Iba,
Janarus.
Marius.
Jan.
Oh, January. It's like January. Excellent.
Oh, that's a
A
beautiful name.
beautiful name. Okay, please go ahead, January.
I am a first-time caller, actually.
Oh.
We would have definitely noted that name, so you're most welcome. Go ahead, please. January.
Nice and nice, actually. But I noticed you're very overcritical of Luis Enrique, and I wonder why. I sometime when the whole stuff was starting, you were like, oh, Luis Enrique is always doing over Sabi and all of that and all of that. But then he took these guys to the semi-finals, and he should be credited for that. Talking about Morata, yeah, Morata came in. I agree with the first caller. Morata came in and he came in and did a good job, took his goal very well, pretty well. He should be commended for that actually, rather than being criticized for, losing a penalty.
No, I didn't criticize Morata for losing the penalty. I criticized Luis Enrique for picking him.
No. I'm talking about Luis Enrique, actually. You're always critical of him. From the start, you're always critical.
So Januarius, if you were the one, would you give Luis Enrique? Would you give Morata? You would. You would have lost. You would have gone home. Yes.
But then, you have to boost the guys' morale.
Which-
Rather than, let them know that they're not too good for stuff, you give them that confidence. You never can know what he would have done to them. I'm sure you wouldn't be saying this.
But he was not going to score. Everybody knew from the moment he placed the ball that he would not score.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, January.
January.
Obviously is.
Yeah, he's really feeling for him. I'm
Yeah.
just telling you, sometimes you need to save your players the heartache. I remember this same Luis Enrique taking out Pedri. Pedri has played a fantastic tournament, but when it came to the penalties, he was like, you are 18. Not the one you go and lose the penalty that we're supposed to progress to the next round, you'll be feeling bad. It's a psychological thing.
Yeah.
Now, when you tell the player has done his job, he's gotten you into extra time with his goal. Fantastic. But the fact that you are the one, the fact that somebody was your friend when you got married doesn't mean that must be the friend that you carry into the labor room. Because people,
just dropping it.
different people have different strengths.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
Why would you? I don't understand this. I refuse.
But
It's
that's a
true.
very
That's
wise
true.
saying.
The fact that the friend is the one that carried walked you down with you down the aisle. Doesn't mean he's one you carry to the labor room. Because different people have different strengths. So he scored the goal. But now,
if he wasn't excited, would you think he would have had a chance to score that penalty?
no, look, the guy in his head, he already look, this is a penalty shootout to take you to the next round.
Yeah.
Now the guy will remember all the penalties he's missed.
Yeah.
So he'd be second guessing himself all the way till he kicks the ball.
When he's not
look,
ante to
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that he can score the goal, and it's a psychological thing. I'm not saying that he will never score another penalty. He will. He will. I'm just saying that in this tournament, at that moment, he's not the guy to go to. Don't put him under that pressure.
But ultimately, that was the decision of the coach.
Well, Sele Emiowele on YouTube says it's possible Morata's teammates didn't have the cajones to step up and he was the one left. That's the only excuse I can think of.
No, but really. Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name? S.A.
S.A.
Yes, S.A.
Welcome. Go ahead, please.
Well, just like the guy, I think I blame Luis Enrique, and I expected more from him with his experience. Morata was not going to score that penalty. They gave him 5 chances to score. In fact, he did the best thing he could have done, score a goal that took them to extra time. I mean, how do you take a striker that hasn't scored so many penalties throughout this tournament? He has missed a lot of chances. I heard somebody trying to give Morata kudos. He scored 3 goals out of almost 70 chances created by him. Hey, at that moment, all he had in his head was, can I do it? Can I take
Yeah.
Okay, where do I put the ball? He's going to try all he wants to do to make it a perfect penalty, and that wasn't going to cut it in for Spain. So Luis Enrique should be blamed for this. Yes, he took them up to semi-final. They played a beautiful football, exquisite football, by the way.
Yep.
But believe me, when you put Morata as your penalty shooter, then that means you're not ready to go for finals.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you very much indeed. We have next story here, and that is
Goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez was the hero of Argentina, defeated Colombia on penalties on Tuesday to set up the Dream Copa America final against Brazil.
Yes, huge one. So the Copa America, they haven't sold this well. They haven't marketed this tournament well. Look, if you have Argentina and Brazil, you shouldn't be struggling with visibility. So I don't think they've done a great job. However, you now have a dream final. Argentina versus Brazil. One chance. I know there's COVID on the continent. Sell these tickets. Give people one match TV rights, TV broadcast deals, because we're not seeing this thing everywhere.
Yeah, that's the
really huge one. Brazil won their game by 1-0 on Monday night. I think that game started by 12 a.m. But as expected, like I said, Brazil has been my favorite all tournament. They are the most complete team. But they still had to grind out that result. Because when you get towards the end of the tournament, teams begin to believe. So even if a team just managed to crawl into the next round they will play a little better, and that's what Brazil had to suffer through to get their win. Argentina, on the other hand, they were playing against Colombia. I always thought it was going to be tough. I honestly didn't believe that they were going to make it through. But penalty shootout, Martinez saved 3 penalties. That Martinez, again, that's another guy that had a brilliant season at Aston Villa. And then he carries that form to Argentina. And frankly speaking, between him and Messi, because everybody else has just been bringing in brilliant performances, one match in, one match out. But Martinez and Messi have been the 2 players that have stood out for Argentina. And if you ask me ultimately, who has been the best player for Argentina, it would be Martinez.
Really?
Not Messi. Martinez has... Do you know how many chances Argentina has faced and Martinez has saved? He has saved a lot. That game against Ecuador, I don't think Argentina would have won it by 3-0. Those 2 goals came really late after Ecuador had clear chances to equalize and even taken the lead. So Martinez has been their most brilliant player. But he saved 3 penalties. They are here in the finals, and they're against Brazil. Again, on paper, with what I've seen and with the form of both teams, I'd say Brazil should win it easily. But if Argentina can drag Brazil to penalties, then Argentina has an opportunity.
Wow. All right, then. Let's move on. England expects as Southgate stars eye Euro final against Italy. England can finally end 55 years of major tournament misery with a Euro 2020 semi-final victory against Denmark on Wednesday after Italy beat Spain in a dramatic penalty shootout to book their place in the final.
Yeah, huge one for England. So yesterday, Kasper Schmeichel was asked in the press conference, you've heard the saying, is coming home, is coming home. How does that make you feel? Do you know what Kasper Schmeichel said?
No.
He said, has it ever been home? I mean, have you ever won it?
Yeah.
The gall to ask that
gosh.
question when you're in London. How dare you? So I think the Danish team have to give themselves more belief, because if like I said, if you look at the way the tournaments have gone in every category, apart from emotional category, in every other category, England have the upper hand. England are playing at Wembley. They're going to have the crowd. They have the players. They have the form. They haven't conceded. There's just too much piled up against the Denmark team. The Denmark team only have that one emotional connection. Oh, they lost their best player at the start of this tournament, and they've managed to make it here. And a few people love the underdog, so we are going to try and support the underdog. That's all they have in their corner. Emotion. That's it. So they have to talk themselves up. They have to talk themselves into believing. They have to talk themselves into saying, we can do this. At least we can put up a fight.
Yeah.
And that's what they need to tell themselves. So every attitude I'm saying from the Danish players, I'm hailing them, because I think that's all they get today. Because the way the English team are, after they've scored played a brilliant game against Ukraine, scored 4 goals. I don't think they're going to come here and try to go through to the final with a 1-0 scoreline. They're going to want to be brilliant. And so Kasper Schmeichel, that mouth that you were making at the press conference, you better back it up with some action, because they'll be peppering your goal today.
Back it up.
So it's a really huge one to see. I think I'm going to see, I know this is football and anything can happen, but I think it's going to be an England-Italy final. But what I expect that Denmark would do is put up a brilliant fight and make me eat humble pie on Friday.
No, I don't want you to eat humble pie, because I want England to take this cup. Mick Anthony from Ajegunle says, good morning guys, Tega is hot this morning, as in you're on fire. And that's the same thing mine that B said on YouTube, that you are one of a kind, your analysis is always on point and entertaining. And he says, I really want to appreciate you guys for moving the show to 9 a.m. You guys are doing a great job. I pray England wins this at the end of the day, so we can now sing 2 World Wars, 1 World Cup, 1 Euros, England.
No, 2 World Wars and 1 World Cup, England,
Ah!
England. 2 World Wars and 1 World Cup, England all the way.
That's right. Emeka Onelum
Love
says,
it.
Emiliano Martinez does well for Argentina, yet it's Arsenal that was trending on social media. Yes, Arsenal picked Leno over him. Can they please move on? Lastly, I see a major upset this evening. Denmark to win. It's not coming home as the English expect.
Haters.
What time is the game today?
It's 8 o'clock, so
Oh, thank God.
they start working out at 7:50.
Like
Yeah.
a midweek service would have finished. Godwin from Aja says, good morning, Val, Ayantega. Please, I blame Luis Enrique Joe. How can you, as a manager, be giving money to buy G-Wagon and you prefer to buy Beetle or Corolla? By this proverb, the G-Wagon is Spain's chance to go further. Chances Spain's chance to go further. By Beetle or Corolla, make una use your tongue count. Okay, because it's the coach's fault. People should be sending easy messages now. Then he says, by the way, look at Denmark, oh, they might surprise us.
That's all, folks.
All right, thank you
you,
very
Tega.
much, everyone, for being a part of the show. We're really excited. Always good to have Tega with us here. Tega is at LIS International on Instagram. That's the work she does with ladies in sports. And of course, Valentine is a Valentine Ohu.
Thank you on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yes. And Ayo is at Ayo Myro Essay
Thank you.
on Instagram.
All right, for the next few minutes, enjoy some great music here on Smooth 98.1 after this break. Stay tuned.